Okay, so we are going to have an exam today. It'll start at 1:15, and um, the stuff that we had last time on exponential functions is not covered on the exam. So, and we have a short class today, so we are going to jump right into the new material, simple and compound interest. And to do that, though, let me look at our groups and go ahead and get into your group chat, say hi, and group leader, make sure the spokesman of the day knows who they are, and group 1, how many of you are here today? Group 2?
Three of us so far.
3,
Yep.
okay. And group 3?
Just one.
Just 1. Group 4?
Two of us.
2 of you. Group 5?
Two of us.
And group 6?
Two of us.
Okay. All right, so group... Yeah.
Group 2 has actually all of us. We have all 4.
4, okay, in group 2. Okay. And group 3, your attendance has been low, so what I want you to do is move to group 4, and I want you to permanently stay in group 4. So unmute group 4 on your channel and pop in there and say hi, and from now on always go to group 4 for groups.
Hello?
Yes.
Sorry, this is group 1. There's 2 of us. I'm sorry, I couldn't get to
you in group 1. All right, cool. All right. So, I think we're all set. And let's go simple and compound interest. Simple interest is when you earn interest on your investment, but the interest that you earn is not being reinvested. And this doesn't happen very often anymore. One of the very few current examples of this is simple interest is bonds. Example, a 10-year U.S. Treasury bond, and they call it a face value of $5,000, pays what they call a coupon rate of 4% every January for 10 years, and at the end of the 10 years is still worth $5,000. All right, so question number 1. What is 4% of 5,000? This is the amount that's mailed to the owner of the bond every January. All right, so if this was a pre-algebra class, I'd be giving you time for this, but it's not, so we can do this. We just take 0.04 4% times 5,000, and I'll punch this out on my calculator as $200. So some rich folk follow the advice of never spend the principal, only live off the interest. And that way they know that they always have money coming to them. Suppose the owner of this bond spent all the money she received each January. Calculate the total amount of money received from this investment, including the $5,000 received at the end of the 10 years. All right, so let me give you all a minute to do number 2. And when you get your answer, type it in to your group chat, but don't hit enter quite yet. So work on it individually first. And go ahead and type it into your group chat. Okay, group 5, what did you get for this?
We got $7,000.
How'd you get the 7,000?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm just reading what was put in the.
Cool. That's fine.
Sorry, I'm tired today.
No problem. So you got the 5,000 that you're going to get back. Plus, you get $200, but how many times? 10 times. So that becomes 2,000 plus the 5,000 is $7,000. All right. But still, that's good that you're reading off what your group put in. That's great. Now that's simple interest. Now why it's called simple is because your interest doesn't earn more interest. The interest gets mailed to the owner and of the bond, and it doesn't compound on itself. Interest getting more interest. Compound interest. With compound interest, the interest earned is immediately reinvested. Thus you earn interest on your interest, a compounding of interest. Now we're going to have to learn how to do interest the fast way. But what I want you to do is, let me just get some space here. If $200 earns 8% interest, what is the total amount of money after 1 year? So everybody compute that. And again, you can enter your answer, type it into your computer, but don't hit enter into your group chat quite yet. Work individually first. Okay, go ahead and hit enter. See what others have inputted. All right, group 1, what did you come up with?
Right. We think that including the principal, it would be $216.
$216? And can you tell me how you got that? What steps?
We just multiplied 200 by 8% and then added the answer to 200.
Great. 200 times 8% is $16, and that's the interest, plus the original principal, gives you $216 total dollars. Notice it was 2 steps. We figured out the interest first, and then we added the principal back in. Now this is what we call the slow way. You get your original interest. Your initial amount is 200, the interest earned is 16, and then your total amount is the original amount plus the interest. And that way is going to be too slow for us when we get the more complex problems that we're going to be coming up with. We need a much better way than this, not a two-step way. So we're going to have the fast way. The fast way to do this, and let me show you, instead of doing it, and of course I would have done it the slow way the first time I would have done it too. I wouldn't have realized the fast way, probably unless somebody showed me, but I'm going to show you right now. You take the original amount and you multiply it by 1 plus the interest rate. Excuse me. Now, when you distribute this times this, it returns the principal. When you take this, returns the principal. When you take this times this, it adds the interest. And it can all happen in one quick step, so that you get, now kind of like showing here, we usually don't put this plus sign, we just multiply 200 times 1.08. But we think of it as 1 plus 0.08. And we'll get the $216 in one step, rather than two separate steps. Okay. So that's describing it here. Note distributing the 200 to the 1 returns the original amount. Distributing the 200 to the 0.8 returns the interest earned. In one step, we get the combination of both. The principal returned plus the interest earned. All right. Now, practice the fast way. So, here is 3 problems. Go ahead and do each of these the fast way. And I'm going to interrupt you here. The first one, 340, 1 plus 0.05. And then you just punch this out on your calculator. And this turns out to be $357. And this one, $500, earns 4%. This time I'm not even going to put the plus sign. I'm just going to put 1.04. The 1 returns the principal, the 0.04 adds the interest. Punch this out of my calculator, I get 520. And probably I pushed it too fast, so let me give you a minute, or a quick 30 seconds to do part C. And this turns out to be 295, 1 plus the 0.08, pull out the calculator, $318.60. All right, any questions so far? All right, let's move on. Interest earned over multiple years, the fast way. And, all right. So, go ahead and do part A. 260 earns 9% interest. What's the total amount of money after 1 year? And then part B is going to be trickier for you. But do both of those. All right, so this first one, 260 times 1.09. So pull up the calculator, $283.40. Now, to do it after 2 years, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. One's the slow way, and then we'll see why we need the fast way. All right, and if I did it the slow way, and let me just kind of do it one step at a time. After 1 year, I'm going to have exactly what we had before, 260, 1.09, 283.40. And then after 2 years, we start the second year with this amount. This money is what we start with. And we multiply this by 1.09. And this gives us, pull out my calculator, $308.91. Okay, but this method is called the slow method because you can see how slow it would be. To get to your total after 30 years, you have to go through all the first 29 years. You can't just jump right. Suppose you only wanted to know what would be your total after 30 years. You can't just jump to that total. You're going to have to do 30 different calculations. It'll take you forever to get there. That's why it's called the slow way. All right. Now the fast way. All right. Now before I show it to you, let me just create some space here and do it, and it'll feel more real if I can do it. The fast way is, here's the year after this year, after the year, and then this is the amount of dollars you have. So, well, let's just put year 0, we start with $260. After year 1, we have 260 times 1.09. Now, that's the same thing I was doing before. But the only thing I'm going to do different is I'm not going to turn it into $283.40. I'm going to leave it as 260 times 1.09. Then, after year 2, I'm going to say, now this is the same thing as, and I'm going to need a little bit more space. This is the same as that result, $283.40. But I didn't write it as $283.40. I wrote it this way. Now, if it was $283.40, what did we do with it? We multiply it by another 1.09. multiply this by 1.09. And what do I notice? I can write it like this. And this allows me this really big shortcut. Okay, so what I see now is year 3. I would start the year with this. Now, but I wouldn't put that number, $308.91. I just think of it, that's what I start with. And then what do? I multiply that this is what I start the year with. Start the year with. And I multiply that by another 1.09 to keep the principal and add 9% interest. But that just becomes 260, 1.09 to the third power. And we're starting to see the pattern. I could jump to year 30 right now. Does anybody see? And I'll open the floor up to anybody. What goes in to the right here? Final result.
$260 times 1.9 to 1.09 to the 30th power.
That is correct. The answer always has a 260 in it. Always has a 1.09. And then the exponent is always the same as the year. So this is described below, the fast way. After 2 years, after 30 years, we can go and we punch this right into our calculator, and it turns out to be $3,449.60. All right. So this method with the fast way has this huge bonus to it. We can go right to the result at any year. Okay, so let's do a little practice. If $5,000 earns 11% interest, what's the total amount of money after 30 years? Let me give you a moment to write the expression for that. And then you punch in your calculator and get an actual and route it to the nearest cent. And at my cue, type this into your group chat, your answer, and I'll call it a group in a moment. Okay, type it into your group chat. You've got an answer. All right, group 2, what do you get here?
I got $11,446 with about 15 cents.
$11,446. And you got 15 cents?
Yeah, I rounded up.
Okay, I had like 10 cents, but maybe I did something strange. But maybe it should be 15. All right. So, how did you get that?
So I multiplied 500 by 1.11 to the 30th power.
That's right. So you just gave this original amount 11% interest 30 times. Because every time that you want to give it, return the total and give 11% interest, you just raise the exponent by 1. And so, boom, we go right to our answer like this. So really powerful stuff. One more practice one. Do number 4. Okay, I'm going to give the answer here. 2,000 earns 3% interest. Raise to the 30th power. Do it 30 times. And this turns out, when you punch it in your calculator, okay. Now, let's go to number 5. And this is where things are going to get a little more complex. Find the total amount of money after 1 year if $100 is invested at 6% yearly interest, compounded semi-annually, which means compounded twice per year. So, now this, I haven't told you what it means to be compounded semi-annually, except that it means you're compounding it twice per year. So this is how banks really work. They do compounding more often than once a year. So this is a realistic situation, but take your best guess at what you're going to get for this, and then enter your answer into your group chat. Okay, and look at what your other group members might have guessed on this. And this is where we're going to pick up next time. We'll come back to exactly this spot. We didn't get that far into this worksheet, so there's going to be no assignment with this. So we're going to be just a little behind schedule here. We'll do this next time that we meet, which is, today is Tuesday, so on Thursday we'll finish the rest of this. Alright, so no homework. There was the exponential 6.1 that I taught on Thursday of last week. Consider that, if you haven't done that yet, as your homework for Thursday, and then be prepared to ask questions on that on Thursday. And then, all right, we'll stop the formal part of class here now, The exam opens up at 1:15, so you have a 15-minute break. And then, so to get to the exam, so let's go to student view, modules. There was exam 1. Scroll down. So under module 7, at the end, it says exam 2. And if I click on it, it says it's locked until 1:15. And leave the student view. And so this is, you got an hour and a half it's set up. Up until 2:45 to get it uploaded and back to me. All right. Any questions? All right. I will then see you on Thursday back in Discord, and you'll have good luck on the test, and I'll see you Thursday. I'll stop the video.